Someday Angeline by Sachar, Chapter 4, No Tomatoes. Angeline lay on the floor, her feet on the sofa, as she read her book about the lovelorn sailor. The sailor didn't know it, but the day after he set sail, the beautiful lady suddenly realized that she loved him too, more than anything else in the world. So she got a boat of her own and sailed the seas in search of him, and was almost eaten by a shark. Abel came home from work. "Don't hug me until I take a shower," he said, but she hugged him anyway. "Look," said Abel, "I brought you a present. It's wrapped in plastic so it doesn't smell." He set it down on the end table at the end of the sofa. Angeline crawled over the sofa and eagerly tore away the plastic. It was a book called The Philosophical Substructures of Psychological Subcultures. With a title like that, no amount of plastic could keep it from smelling. "Thank you," she said politely, and tried her best to look happy despite the awful odor emanating from the book. "I hope it is smart enough for you," said Abel. "Oh, it looks like a real smart book," Angeline assured him. She put the book on the bookshelf along with all the other smelly books her father had given her. She wished he'd just bring her a book with a good story and lots of funny jokes. "Gus is coming over for dinner," Abel announced after his shower. Angeline's face lit up. "Oh, good!" Gus was Abel's partner. They drove the garbage truck together. Abel knew she didn't like the book. Gus had told him she wouldn't like it, but he bought it anyway. Gus had told him to find a book with a good story and lots of jokes. "They don't even have to be funny jokes," Gus had said. "Angelini will laugh anyway." When Gus arrived, Angeline let him in. "Hello, Gus," she greeted. "Hello, Angelini," said Gus. "We're having chili," she told him. "Sounds good," said Gus. "Do you like it hot?" she asked. "I mean spicy hot, not hot hot." "The hotter the better," said Gus. "Me too," said Angeline, "only not too hot." Abel was in the kitchen. He accidentally touched the hot pot of chili with his thumb. "Ow!" he exclaimed. He walked into the living room with his thumb in his mouth. "Cute," said Gus. "Oh, hi, Gus," said Abel. "I didn't know you were here." "Angelini let me in. We decided we like our chili the hotter the better, only not too hot." "You want a beer?" Abel offered. "Thanks," said Gus. "I want a beer too," said Angeline. "Don't act cute just because Gus is here," Abel told her. She blushed. She was acting cute, and it was because of Gus. "I'm not acting cute," she insisted. She didn't want Gus to know she was acting cute for him. Abel walked back into the kitchen to get the beer. Gus poked Angeline in the side. "You can have a sip of my beer, cutie," he whispered. She giggled. She set the table while Gus helped Abel in the kitchen. She couldn't remember on which side to put the fork and on which side to put the spoon. It wasn't one of the things she knew before she was born. "Did you want salad, Angelini?" Gus called from the kitchen. "Do we have any French dressing?" she called back to him. "No, but we have some French undressing," said Gus. Angeline laughed hysterically. "See," Gus told Abel, "they don't even have to be funny jokes." Abel smiled. He wished he could make Angeline laugh like Gus, but he hadn't been able to tell her a joke for a long time, either funny or unfunny. He couldn't even say Angelini without choking on it. Angeline put the knives, forks, and spoons around the table, sometimes on the left and sometimes on the right. She knew it had to be correct in one of the places. "Okay, I'll have a salad with French undressing," she called, "but no tomatoes in mine." "Sorry," Gus called back. "There aren't any tomatoes." "Good," she yelled. "I don't want a tomato." "Well, that's too bad," said Gus, "because there aren't any. And if you think I'm going all the way to the store just to get you a tomato—" "But I don't want a tomato," she screamed. "You can scream all you want," said Gus. "You still can't have one." "Good," she yelled. "Excellent. I'm glad we don't have any tomatoes. I don't want a tomato. I hate tomatoes." Gus stood at the kitchen door and sadly shook his head. "I'm sorry to hear that, Angelini," he said. "I really am, but I'm afraid we just don't have any." She threw her hands up in the air and gave a loud sigh. Gus laughed. They ate the salad, chili, and soda crackers. Nobody seemed to care whether the forks, knives, or spoons were on the right side or not. "What's the weather forecast for tomorrow?" Gus asked. "Hold on, I'll check," said Angeline. She walked to the kitchen window and listened. "I really wish you wouldn't do that," Abel whispered, so only Gus could hear. "Why not?" asked Gus. "She's always right. I think it's great." "Don't," said Abel. "Or I don't," said Abel. "Okay?" Gus shrugged. "Okay," he said. When Angeline got back, she told them that it was going to be very hot, especially hot for October. Abel politely thanked her. "Gus, can I ride with you and my father in the garbage truck sometime?" she asked. "Now, what do you want to do that for?" Gus asked. "It smells in there." "I want to," said Angeline. "Besides, I like the smell." "You belong in school," said Gus. "School smells," said Angeline. Gus laughed. "I never liked school either," he said. "But that was because I wasn't too smart. If I was as smart as you, I would have loved school. Someday you'll appreciate it. You never know, said Angeline. It's kind of tough on her now, said Abel. All the other kids in her class are a lot older. She doesn't have any friends. I do too, Angeline insisted. I have one friend, Gary Boone. He's my best friend. He's so funny. He knows so many jokes. Good, said Abel. I'm glad you're finally making friends. Just one friend, corrected Angeline. Just Gary. All the other kids are goons. And that's the end of chapter 4.